Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Jen and we're going to go ahead and get started. Today we will be talking about sending emails through Church Windows. Now we're only going to be talking about composing and actually selecting people to send the emails to in today's topic. If you need to set up your email within Church Windows, that's covered in another webinar that's already been recorded and is available in the Support Center on our website. If you use the search in the top right-hand corner, you can search for Setup Email, and you'll be able to find the webinar that will teach you how to set up your email address within Church Windows so that you can send emails from it. Once you've completed that step, then today's webinar will show you how to actually compose and send emails to specific people. We're going to go to both membership and donations, and we're looking at 21.18.4 for the version number. If you have questions during the webinar that are related to this topic, you can type them into the questions panel of your webinar toolbar, and I'll answer them either as we go along or once we've finished, I'll come back and answer any questions that I missed. Now, if the topics of the questions are not related to today's topic, I won't be able to answer them. You can give us a call at 800-533-5227 and speak with one of our support technicians. Today's topic is covered in the emailing workbook, which is available for purchase on our website. It's going to cover pages 7 through 22 if you're following along. And again, that can be purchased on our website. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. We're going to start in membership. Now, if you are wanting to email just one specific person, you can go to their record in People, and you can either use the arrow buttons to navigate to a specific person or pick someone from the person lookup box. I'm going to pick Jen Arnold for this example. And across the top of the screen, we have buttons on both the family and the individual side, little printer buttons. I'm going to use my handy-dandy highlighter tool to circle both of those buttons. And I'm going to click Print, and that gives me 3 choices. I can do a report of this person, I can do a label for this person, or I can email this person. I'm going to click Email. And I'm going to erase my circles. You can see that it brings up just this person, Jen Arnold, and you can see that Jen has 2 email addresses on file. If I slide this a little bit out of the way, you can see behind there, here are my 2 email addresses. So if someone only has 1 email address, that will be what's listed down here. Going back to the top of the screen, our email setting is where we actually have gone in previously and set up an email address. You can set up multiple email addresses. Maybe the pastor is going to send out emails and the secretary is going to send out emails and the treasurer is going to send out emails. You can set each of those up separately. And then you choose the one that you want to be sending from. That's what our email setting is. And then we have our custom email message. This is where we actually go in and compose messages. Now we can make templates like the one that I have sitting here, a welcome email template, or we can create a new one. I'm going to click the Add button to create a new one, and I'm going to send a reminder email to Jen Arnold. Let's see. We're going to let Jen know that she is scheduled to Usher this Sunday. And if I come up here to this button at the top, I have options to print this email. I can save it if I want to use it as a template. I can test send the email. If I do that, it allows me to pick a send to address, and I can change the email setting. I can add a custom signature, and then I can click Send Test, and it sends it to that email address. Now, up here at the top of this composing screen, before we navigate away from it, we have all the typical word processor type composition settings, fonts, alignment, things like that. And you also have an Insert tab up here. If you want to attach a document to it, perhaps there's a list of expectations for the ushers that you would want to send to someone. Any of that can be added from the Insert tab. And then once I'm ready to send it, I just go down to Send Email. And again, it shows me the list of people I've selected, in this case, just Jen Arnold. I can change my email address, I can add a signature, and I can click Send Email. It confirms that I do indeed want to send this, and if I say yes, then it will send it. And I can click OK to view the log. At the top of the log, it's going to give us some general warnings and information. And then it's going to show which email addresses it was sent to. And then down at the very bottom, it will always show any failed emails. In this case, 0 failed. So that's helpful if you're having emails that aren't going through and you need to figure that out. They'll always be at the bottom. And then when you're done looking at that email log, you can just close it with the X at the top. And we can also close this message that we composed. It's going to ask us if we'd like to save this, and I'm going to say no. The custom email signature over here on the right is just like a signature in any email provider. You can add a signature. The composition screen looks just like a regular email message, but this would just be for the signature. And so it would combine it with whatever message you may have composed on the custom email message itself. So that is how we email an individual single person. Let's take a quick look while we're in membership at how we might email a group. Again, we can go in from this email button right here on the main screen in the center. Or we can come up to Reports Export at the very top and send email up here. Then we have our typical report people selector. I'm going to, for this example, email a group. I'm going to email my parents for Sunday school classes. And I'm going to click Add to Selection. So any search query that you might want to compose to get the people that you need for this email, you do here on step 1. Then we can click Next, and it's going to give us a list of our Sunday school parents. And again, we have our choices of email settings. Those are the different email addresses that we're sending from. And then we have custom email message. Now, if I want to use a template that I've created before, like my welcome email, I can select that template, and then I can just go ahead and click Send if I know that that template is exactly what I want. If I need to edit an existing template, I use the pencil button. Pluses are always going to add in Church Windows, pencils are always going to edit, and minuses are always going to delete. So if I click the pencil, it brings up my little welcome email that I saved to send to new people. And I didn't make any changes, so I don't need to save it again. I can just close it, and then I can go ahead and send my email. Again, it confirms, do I actually want to send this email to these 5 people? Then I can say yes or no. And it gives me an email completed message, and I can click OK to view that email log that we saw before. This time we have a few more addresses, but again, 0 failures. Now, if you need to look at an email that you previously sent, you can go to the View Sent Email Logs button right here, and you will have a log for each of the emails that you've sent in the past. The piece of paper button will open the log, and the minus will delete the log. Be careful with that. You may not need to delete those, or you may want to go in and delete really old ones. All right, so that covers emailing through membership. Let's take a look at donations. In donations, we have multiple ways of emailing as well. If we go up to Reports Export and Send Email, just like in membership, we see the exact same screen. We can use the drop-down here to select membership fields to search for a specific group of people, or we can use giving pledging information. For example, I could select only those who gave in maybe, let's see, the month of January. Let's jump back to January through January. And this will give me only the people who gave during that time. And then again, just like in membership, we have our email setting, and those are the same in both modules. Whatever email addresses you set up in one module will be available in the other. And then we have our custom email messages as well. So if I go ahead and select my welcome message again, I could add a signature if I wanted, and then I can send email. It confirms, I say yes, and then we didn't get to see it as well before, but down here at the bottom, this one has more people, so it's going slower. We can see the percentage as it's sending. If you're just sending to a few people, this might go so quickly that you don't even see it at all. But because this grouping had a few more people, it took a little longer so we could see it go through that scroll. And then it tells us it's complete, and we can view the results. Now, in both membership and donations, it is possible to email reports. However, it's more of an export than an email, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So if I go to a giving summary, for example, and I go, let's just do the whole year through today. If I click either this export button, I have a choice to send via email, or if I print I have an email button up here at the top, and you'll notice there's a little arrow beside it. So this is how we can email a report as an attachment. These are all the different types of attachment files that you may want to send to someone. I'm going to stick with PDF. I'm not going to change any of the PDF export options. I'll just click OK. Then it asks where I'd like to save this PDF, and I'm going to save it to my desktop so it's easy to find. And then this message comes up if there is not an external email program installed on the computer. If you have Outlook or some other installed email program on your computer, that is what this email button refers to. It refers to allowing you to email an exported file, like a PDF, from Church Windows, and then using a program on your computer, such as Outlook, it allows you to email that file. But again, only if you have a program such as Outlook. Once it opens that external program, you just compose the email and attach the file like you would with any other email. Finally, in donations, we have our statement that we can email. So if you click the donation statement button, either up top or in the center of the screen, it defaults to selecting only those who gave during the current date range. We can click Next. And then you'll see instead of just having one column of check marks, we have two, one for print and one for email. We can tell it to check print if there is no email address, and we can select to email those who have email addresses. And then down at the bottom, check email for all. Now on our options tab here, the statement layout and the global memo determine what the PDF statement will actually look like. If we go to the email tab, again we have our email setting. I'm going to still use my church office setting. And then we have a global email message. This is just like the other messages that we were able to compose. This goes in the body of the email. But instead of having a pencil, we have a little piece of paper to edit this one. So if we click that piece of paper, this allows us to look at our optional messages for emailing our statements. If you need to edit the existing message, you can click on it and click this down arrow, and then that allows you to type in here and change anything that needs to be changed. I'm going to select standard instead of end of year, and I'm going to click print/email statements. Now, if you only want to email, you don't want to print, you can do uncheck print for all before sending the email. That's going to send it to 11 givers. If we click yes, I'll go ahead and do that. And again, we've got our progress bar at the bottom. And once it completes, it'll give us another confirmation and another log. Now the statement itself will look just like the printed statements. So if I switch this to check print, and we just take a look at the print preview, this is what the attachment to the email will look like, your typical statement. And then the message of the email itself will be whatever you selected here. All right, that concludes our topic about emailing from Church Windows. All of the different ways of sending emails from membership and donations through Church Windows.